couple months ago, DC and Marvel crossed over for the first time in a really long time when they released Deadpool, Batman, and then a couple months later released Batman and Deadpool. Each story also included a bunch of crossovers with other characters as well, and I thought it was a pretty fun time. I thought the DC side of it was a little bit better than the Marvel side, but I thought they were both pretty fun. Anyways, it looks like Marvel and DC are continuing the crossovers into next year when they're going to release Superman, Spider-Man #1. It's going to be kind of the same thing in that they'll include a lot of different pairings of different creatives and also different characters from each respective universe. They also have a slew of comic book variant covers as well. So in this video, we're going to break it down. What are the crossovers? What are the creative teams on each crossover? And then we're going to go look at the different variant covers as well to get a sense of what's coming down the pipe in March of 2026. So it looks like the first story, the headline story here, Superman, Spider-Man, as I see here highlighted, Mark Waid and Jorge Jimenez. This is just genius, right? Mark Waid, no stranger to writing Superman. I'm not sure if he's written a Spider-Man story, but then he's paired with Jorge Jimenez, one of the hottest comic book, artists in the game right now. At least over on the DC side, he's just killing it on the main Batman title. It says here, Clark Kent and Peter Parker are going to chase the same dangerous mystery, one tied to the villainous machinations of Brainiac and Dr. Octopus. Naturally, their investigation quickly turns into full-blown superhero crisis once Superman and Spider-Man step into the spotlight. So the fact that we have Brainiac and Dr. Octopus teaming up, that makes total sense. I could see those two hanging out, from time to time. Makes a lot of sense to me. And it looks like all the other pairings have been announced. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Tom King and Jim Lee doing a Lois Lane and Mary Jane Watson story. So that's going to be pretty fun. We know that Tom King currently doing, the ongoing Wonder Woman series, doing a lot of stuff over at DC. Jim Lee is doing a lot more interiors recently. He's supposed to be like the CCO of DC, but he's palling around doing some interior artwork from time to time. And it looks like they're doing a Lois Lane, Mary Jane Watson story. The two leading ladies, right, of Superman and Spider-Man. So it makes a lot of sense that they would cross over. That should be a pretty fun one. Although, I kind of wish that a woman would be writing this story. So that's kind of weird, I guess. But, whatever. Tom King, Jim Lee, we'll see what they got. Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber are revisiting Jimmy Olsen with a Carnage twist. So I just recently read Matt Fraction and Steve Lieber's Jimmy Olsen story, and it was really good. Excellent stuff. Really wacky, really wacky. So it makes sense that, my prediction is that Jimmy Olsen is going to get the Carnage symbiote attached to him, right? And that's just going to be wacky, man. So Matt Fraction, Steve Lieber, Matt Fraction killing it over on the main Batman title, but still able to do some real fun, wacky stuff. Jimmy Olsen with a Carnage twist, that should be pretty cool. Sean Murphy is doing a Superboy Legion story with Spider-Man 2099. Now, I don't know too much about Spider-Man 2099. I think he's cool, you see him in a couple of the movies appearances, like the recent Across Spider-Verse or whatever. And I don't know too much about Superboy Legion or really just the Legion of superheroes in general. I want to know more about them. I get little hints, here and there in the Superman title, but have not read an ongoing Legion series or a mini series for that matter. But actually, I haven't even read Sean Murphy's Batman White Knight stories. So I don't know if I've read anything by Sean Murphy. This one is a complete going into it, this one blind, when Sean Murphy, Superboy Legion, and Spider-Man 2099. Gail Simone and Belen Ortega are bringing together Power Girl and Punisher. That's pretty fun. Both their names start with a P. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they're also two gruff kind of characters, so it makes sense that they would, they got the same kind of personality, I feel, right? So Power Girl, Punisher, Gail Simone just killing it, and then Belen Ortega doing that Trinity Daughter Wonder Woman series with Tom King. I think she's got a really cool art style, so excited to see Power Girl and Punisher teaming up. Christopher Priest and Daniel Sampere, which is a pretty interesting pairing. They're going to be doing a Superman Prime and a Spider-Man during the Black Suit era. So that makes sense. Superboy Prime loves reading comic books. Makes sense that he would want to go back to Spider-Man's most seminal moment when Spider-Man gets the black suit. So that should be pretty fun. Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott, they're bringing us a rivalry between the Daily Planet and the Daily Bugle. Now, Greg Rucka and Nicholas Scott, I think they're currently doing a series called like Cheshire and Cheetah Rob the Justice League or something like that, which I've heard is really good. I haven't checked it out, but I heard it's really good. Makes sense they're doing a Daily Planet, Daily Bugle kind of face-off story. I also think that Greg Rucka did that Lois Lane story a while ago, right? I haven't read that one either, but makes sense that Greg Rucka would want to stay in that kind of, corner of the DC universe. And Jeff Lemire and Rafa Sandoval bringing us a heartfelt flashback centered on Pa Kent and Uncle Ben. That one guaranteed to break your heart. Makes sense. You want someone's heart to be broken, you call up Jeff Lemire and he'll write you a story to do just that. Rafa Sandoval doing that Superman Unlimited series. I don't know if he's still on that, but I think he's got a really cool art style. It'll be interesting to see him mixing it up with Jeff Lemire's writing. So that's what we got. That's the main story, the different creative team breakdowns. Next up, we'll go over the variants that you can find as well. It looks like this is going to be standard edition is going to be $7.99, and the cardstock variants extra $1 will be $8.99, and this will come out on March 25th, 2026. So looking forward to that at the tail end of March. New crossover, and yeah, let's get into the variants you can find. So this is on the main DC article. I like the way they broke down their variants, right? So first up, we've got Daniel Sampier and Tamu Mori. They're doing that variant for the black suit Spider-Man with Superboy Prime. That's sick. That looks pretty cool. We have a Jim Lee, Scott Williams, and Alex Sinclair doing a nice Superman and Spider-Man, kind of inspired by Jim Lee's other, he has some famous pieces of work where the superheroes are just standing on a building looking like that. So that's cool to have Spider-Man in the mix. That one is probably a must get. We have Art Germ variants, of course. We have Silk and Supergirl. That's pretty fun. We have a Raphael Albuquerque. I think Raphael has a really cool style. So it's cool seeing Spider-Man, his take on Spider-Man, and Superman. They're just flying through. We also have, what's that guy's name? One of the clones. I don't remember that guy's name, but he's fighting the Superman Red Sun. So that's cool, and that's from Dave Johnson. We have a DNA cover as well. People go crazy for the DNA covers. Superman and Spider-Man there. I kind of like that older look for Superman. That's kind of cool. With that, that's like a Kingdom Come sort of like a Superman symbol, right? That's a pretty cool cover from DNA. We have a Gabriel Del Otto cover here. Who is that? Okay, that's Black Suit Superman with Black Suit Spider-Man. That's sick. That's one of the coolest ones we've seen. Michael Janine, he's doing, looks like Spider-Man is punching Lex Luthor, and then we also have Superman dodging a pumpkin bomb from Green Goblin. That's pretty sick, seeing some of the villains as well. Power Girl and Black Cat from David Toloski. I love David Toloski, really cool style. I like the whites that David Toloski uses, like the wispy kind of look. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Interesting that it's not a Power Girl Punisher as we see in the pages of the comic, but that's all right. We got Black Cat and Power Girl on the cover there. Clayton Crane is the last one we're talking about, and that is another Superman and Spider-Man flying through the sky. Gotta be honest, not my favorite out of the bunch, but that's what we got, man. You know, before you know it, Marvel will be announcing their side of the crossover. So Spider-Man and Superman will have a new set of creative teams and pairings to talk about. New set of comic book character crossovers as well, and a whole new set of variant covers. So when that's announced, we'll be going over it right here on the channel. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about Superman and Spider-Man crossing over, and I'll catch you in the next one.